Yo, what is going on, people? What is up? Welcome to another episode of the Moon Knight Roundtable. And as you see, I had to change the beat for the last episode to know if
Yeah,
Danny does
yeah.
approve.
What the hell you did that for? Wait till the
What?
last show to do that.
But now,
You done that
now he's
4
sitting there
episodes
going like,
ago.
"Why'd you do it?"
To be honest with you, I just put that together real quick right now. I was just like, okay, I had this beat here. Let me put this in there, and that's why it was lagging a bit. That's what I was doing. But I said, let me pop in this freaking beat to have Danny, so I don't have to hear. Oh yeah, no, I ain't feeling the beat. Was that one to Danny's approval?
Yes.
Okay. That was a Busta Rhymes beat, so I figured it would. Shout out your channel, Danny.
I'm Danny Graham, aka Comet Chat. You can find me here on Chaos Central, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesday nights, along with the guys to my left and right. Tomorrow night, Monday night, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I'm sure it will come to me when I'm sitting at my desk at work, and we'll actually join us again at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. So ready to go for this last episode, Opus.
Absolutely.
And
Mr.
also,
Knight.
to any of y'all that love NBA, did y'all watch that fantastic game last night between the Warriors from Golden State and the Grizzlies from Memphis? It was
I watched a little
Ab-
bit of it, but
very good show.
Absolutely not.
It's
Very good.
looked like a good
Warriors.
game.
It's local news to me, so yeah,
Absolutely not. I could care less about the game. I watched some of it.
I just
that
hope
figure
John not
skating?
hurt.
Well,
Supposedly he's not playing in the next game. Hey Ash, what's up? Sent you the link.
What?
forgot
and
you
the
were in the
Warriors, dude. Anytime you have like 254 points, I think is what I saw this morning. 254 points in a game. Is there any defense really being played?
Yeah,
Well, there
we
was-
took work.
They're playing
Yeah,
all
I
the
know.
Warriors.
I watched it, but my God.
There was a little bit played by Golden State, you know what I mean? But I don't know what Memphis was doing. I don't know what Memphis was doing.
And,
But shout out
John
your
hurt?
channel real quick. Yeah, I think his knee, he's out for the next game.
Woo.
So it should be easy for Golden State. Chris, shout out your channel real quick.
Real Review 3000, guys. Check it out. ADHD for YouTube. We took the day off, Mother's Day. To those of you who have mothers, make sure
Oh,
you
happy
tell them you
Mother's
love
Day
them.
for real.
Yeah, and also to those of you who have lost your mothers beforehand, I sympathize with you, but remember them still because they were great people. And for those of you who have disowned your mother as well, like my son would say, "Fuck her." Anyways, I asked my son jokingly today. I was like, "Do you want to call your mom?" And he says, "No. What the fuck do you think?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, that tells you right there what he thinks." Anyways. Yeah, ADHD for YouTube, and again, Danny just said it. Check out Chaos Central. We got like 4 or 5 subs over the past couple days. That's what we want to see, guys. Keep shouting us out, keep helping us out, and check out all 3 shows: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time as usual. And yeah, thank you. Looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Eli, you're up next.
Well, for somebody who has bragging rights about Cardinal Sin's show, he kept quiet. Okay, I guess I'll talk then.
I'll get to it.
I have a science show on YouTube called What's Up with the Universe, where I talk anywhere from basic astronomy to complex astrophysics, but I make it sure for everybody to understand, like NEOs, near-earth objects, GRBs, gamma ray bursts, that sort of fun stuff. Black holes, planetary formations. Check it out. Whenever you look up at the night sky and you go, what the hell is that? Well, you might learn something, especially if you happen to have a clear sky in the northern hemisphere on May 15th around 8 p.m. Pacific time. There's a total lunar eclipse. So, if you want to know more about science, check out my channel. Also, I have a couple of parody videos on there. So,
Cool. Fat Steven Seagal.
Oh no, it's okay. Ladies first.
All right, because Ashley just came in here. Ashley, tell the people about your
Hello.
channel.
Can you all hear me? Can you hear me good?
We
What?
can hear you.
Well, it's the widow. Make videos and stream here and there. So check it out.
Absolutely. And now, Mr. Steven Seagal.
so.
Yes, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch. If you missed it last week, we had Chuck Dixon on, so it was a good interview. Other than that, you can catch me doing shit talk on Wednesdays with Pop Culture Minefield as well as Fridays. Other than that, find me on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, guys, we have did it. We hit the final episode of Moon Knight, and this is actually the final roundtable for this show, which got mixed views about the show. But I would like to.
I have to interrupt you, Anzo. This is not the final show of Moon Knight, because if you actually look at Twitter, Marvel changed the post to not series finale, but season finale.
Okay, but
But still the final of this season, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so and it was a fun ride, but now we get to talk about our overalls on this episode and our overalls on the season, all in general. But first, let's do the episode. Danny, overalls for this final episode of Moon Knight.
Like I told you, overall, I was like, what the hell? And then when I saw the unseen credit, I was like, oh, okay. To me, the unseen credit totally saved this particular episode, and it saved the series overall. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more, yeah, but do I hate it? I don't. But overall, it was pretty. I had a theory. I think I told y'all my theory. I mean, I get into that later on. But overall, I think that it was okay. Nothing to write home about and just be banging on the shot from the rooftops, but it was okay. Especially character I didn't know, so I'm cool with it. I hope the second season will be much better. I think it will be, because usually the second season in these type of shows are better than the first.
It looks like they're setting up for a second season, so
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like with the end credit scene and everything. So we'll see. Chris Knight, overall,
they kind of have to, but yeah, I'm the same way. I was kind of like, okay, I wasn't like I didn't like the episode. I was all right with it, but when you watch it, you're like, what the hell? What's going on here? What are we doing? And that end credit scene did kind of finish it off. So yes, I mean that helped it a lot. But I was okay with the generic idea of what they did with it. But yeah, I mean, it's still, I think overall as a series and leading into this is kind of expected. But again, if we don't get a second season, like if they're just teasing us, they don't go forward with that, it really hurts this whole concept. But right now, if everything goes to a second season and with the end credit scene and all that, this is a really good way to end it, I think.
I feel you. Ash, overalls? Okay, I'll come back to her.
I'm
Eli?
I'm muted. I didn't realize I was muted.
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead.
Overall of this episode, just well, I mean, I think that it was a decent episode. I'll get into what I think about it overall as a collective, is where this episode fits in the season. It was okay, but like, I mean, I feel like all my concerns throughout the whole season was just like amplified in this episode when you completely flash and we don't see anything in this like epic conclusion of a battle, which to me is slightly ridiculous. But I still can't say I don't like this specific episode because of Oscar Isaacs, because his performance is so strong in the episode. So for that, I will say it was good.
All right. Eli?
Well, I'm glad we finally got confirmation that Khonshu is the bad guy the whole time. I like that. This episode basically was finally some conclusion. I actually accepted it, but I still got some problems with it. But I still loved some of the scenes in it.
All right. And Fat Steven Seagal, your overall for this episode. Go ahead, do your worst.
I'm not gonna do my worst. I'm gonna say that, but I gotta say, I got a problem with the people of Egypt in the Marvel universe. Are all blind when you see two god kaiju's fighting out in front of your doorstep?
They couldn't see him.
It was all right, but y'all didn't feel no tremors. None of the buildings collapsed. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, it was all right. It was too short, but it was all right. It was just all right. It was all right.
And I too will agree. I think it was all right. I don't think it was a great episode. There were some things in here that really were just like, really, this is what we're doing, right? Some things that I called correctly from last week's show that I said this is what they're gonna do, and they did it. And overall, I just find out like Marvel has this really problem of just throwing everything into the last episode, and I just have a real problem with that. And I think they need to get off the 6 episode thing and start adding more episodes. I really do. You know what I mean? It fleshes out some of the characters a little bit more. Then when you get a couple of episodes like the ones we had, you're not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're doing this in the second to last episode. So didn't hate it, but I just didn't love it like I thought I would. You know, I thought this episode would be great, and I was just like, it's okay. And when we get into the negatives, you'll know why there's certain things that I didn't like about it. It's going to be pretty hard for me to talk about my positives, but we will get into positives of this episode. So, Danny, give me your positives. What did you like?
I like the fact, and I'm going to tell my theory that Khonshu planned this from the very start. That he wanted to be the head god, and I believe if you remember what the alligator goddess said, that she had the perfect avatar, and she still was put into that sand thing, whatever, and she still wasn't strong enough. So I believe that Khonshu probably figured out that even if you do have a perfect avatar, that's pure heart and all this kind of stuff, that's not going to be enough. So when he saw Mark was shattered, and I think the word they use is unwell. So I think he deliberately kept Mark from knowing about Jake, and Jake was going to be like his ace in the hole. So if Mark didn't work out, then he could go to Jake because he knew Jake was the most psychotic of the 3 personalities that reside inside of Mark. So he knew that he couldn't kill the other gods. So he kind of let I think Harold go because he knew Harold wanted to get that other goddess, and that goddess was strong enough to kill the other gods. So if he get them out the way, then he could kill Harold. He thought Mark was strong enough, but Mark wasn't. And that's when Jake came in and did what we saw him did. So I think Khonshu had the whole thing planned from the start, and his plan worked out perfectly. So if that is what Kevin Feige is going to show us, then I think the whole season was genius. If that is it, if not, then I guess I just went down a rabbit hole too far like LDG, and maybe next week I'll be in the hospital.
Let's hope you didn't fall down that rabbit hole, bro. Anything else you liked, sir?
I like the fact Khonshu took over Mr. Knight's way of dressing at the end. I like the end scene credit when he killed Harold. I like when he killed Harold. I did not like Harold.
I'm not sure he's dead.
I didn't like him in his true form. I didn't like him, especially when he was a damn psychiatrist. So to me, it looked like they killed him. That Jake killed him. So if he did, I'm cool with that. I really like that. I did not like bad guy in this one at all.
Got you. What about you, Chris? What were your positives, or what did you like about this episode?
Hold on just a second.
Sure.
So I don't think that they shoved a whole bunch of stuff in this. I think they did exactly what they needed to do. He comes back, he gets the Moon Knight Khonshu thing tied back together. But as soon as they did the blackout with Mark, I knew exactly that they were going down. And it worried me again that they were going to do something and then just, here you go, there it is, end of series. And yet, with the end credit scene, that's exactly, if you remember right, go back to what I said. If they do it that way, they've done it right, and they did it exactly the way they needed to. He has no clue how troubled he is. It was excellently put. Because what Khonshu's saying is the whole time he's calling, not Mark, but Stephen. We think he's calling Stephen an idiot because he says, "Oh, great, the idiot's back." But remember, when they both come back, I think he calls both of them idiots. So I have a feeling that it was always led to believe that Mark was not an idiot. I think he still calls Mark an idiot because they don't know that Jake is actually the one in charge of everything. And when they again, just like at the very beginning of the series, they use the same tactics that they used at the beginning of the series that helps. It basically says we're doing things the same way. We're just showing it to you differently because when Mark was overrun and when Mark himself couldn't handle it and couldn't fix a situation, Jake did what Mark was doing at the beginning, which is take over Moon Knight and take care of the situation. So we're getting to see that the person who's really in control, really knows how to use Moon Knight to its full capacity is Jake. So they're adding to that layering of stuff. I really thought that was brilliant how they did it. The fight scene I liked it. The whole like making them large, making the gods large was interesting. I'll have to think a little more on that. I don't mind what they did to Leia. Or Layla, yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. What was it? If you watch frame by frame, what now?
It's the blackout scene she's talking about. The blackout was questionable because Layla doesn't move. So I'm like, did he do it in 2 seconds? Yeah,
probably.
She's standing in the same spot that she was when he blacked out.
Who knows? I mean, maybe she just stopped and was like, holy crap, what just happened? I don't know. But still, I really think it was cool that I liked how she became the guy. I hope she keeps that power too, because I think that's kind of a cool add-in. I think they did. Listen, overall, from start to finish, they did the right things. Maybe they didn't do everything perfect, but I think they did a really good job with this. So I was very happy with it. And like I said, the biggest thing I really liked was how they did the end credit scene, because it's exactly what I thought they should do. And I can't imagine they're not going to give us another season. So
yep, I hear you. Oh shit, did I just do that? Yeah, I feel you. Sorry, Brittany, I blocked your ass by accident, but I will fix that just now. I agree with you guys. Well, first off, let me shout out the chat real quick. We got Basel in the house, Dandelion's in the house, Tony Robinson is in the house. Who else we got? I Love Food is in the house. Thank you guys for popping in. Much appreciated. Do appreciate everybody that pops in here and comes and checks us out. Absolutely. Danny Graham. I'm sorry, Ashley. Tell the people what you liked.
Oscar Isaac.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Layla a little bit more this episode. I just don't. Well, it's like I feel like it's not that I didn't like it. It's not that I like it. You know, it's just like
you're undecided yet.
It Chris, just seems very like okay or mid-level things for me. But I did like the end credit scene, but I hated the fact that was an end credit scene. I liked it. I loved all of that. I liked Layla, being powered up, and so I guess those are the things I liked.
That's it.
I guess I have more negative things to say, but I still didn't give the episode a bad score. It's just, I don't know. It's just okay.
Right. I'm with you on that. All right, Eli, you're up next.
What can I say something really quick though?
Yeah, sure.
She likes Layla a lot better, and we took care of that, Anza, just so you know.
Okay.
The cool thing about Layla in this is that if you want to go down that pandering and all that stuff, she was an awesome character. She did kick ass, but she's not the one that saved the day. And a lot of us wondered if she would be the one that saved the day. So I think it's a perfect execution and usage of a strong female character in that last bit, but not just give her the
I think that's a lot of people like fears just because they see a strong female in a show, they automatically think, oh, well, here comes the pandering and the diversity, and like she's gonna like overshadow him. Like I get that. I mean, they did have a little pandering moment in the episode, but I think that they did a good job with her.
Yeah.
I would say because like the first 2 episodes, I didn't like the first 2 episodes I saw her in. I didn't like her at all in 2 and 3. 4, I really liked her, because she had that emotional arc and all that stuff. And then, in this episode, I liked her too. So I think she's a really good character, and I think she's a good compliment, to Mark. And I think that a lot of times, like, it's just like opposite. And then a lot of people compared her look to Wonder Woman 1984. But I'm just comparing the dynamic when you have like, 2 strong characters, one male and one female, and one doesn't overshadow the other. I think that makes for a well-balanced show. I just think that there's other things in the course of the show that didn't work for me, but where her character ends up, I think that it works. So.
All right, cool. What about you, Eli? Go ahead. What were your positives of this episode?
Okay, I want to talk about something that nobody's talked about yet. When Mark and Steven basically became one and they're coinciding with each other without blacking out, they're actually talking and communicating like brothers, and they're arguing with Khonshu. I love the fact that Khonshu didn't say, fine, you'll be released. He said, fine, I'll release the 2 of you. The 2 of you. I'm like, okay, Khonshu knows something's going on. There's the 3rd one. I love that little hint that he did. There's a quick little sentence that he said, and I'm like, okay, I actually caught that, but what people really didn't. I love the choreography with the fight between Mr. Knight and Moon Knight when they were fighting the gangsters. You gotta love the fact that Mr. Knight was only fighting the henchman, but when it came to the main guy, it got switched to Moon Knight. So it wasn't people like, what the fuck is he doing here? No. Mr. Knight was handling the ruffians, and Moon Knight was handling the main bad guy. I love that switch. What else? The ending, the end credit scene. I kept on saying, okay, where's Jake? Where's Jake? Is there a Jake Lockley? Who the hell is this Jake guy? Was there actually hints of him being present? And yeah, he actually was. The wrap up with him in the limo, that totally completed the question about, okay, what about Jake? It's like, oh, what about Bob? What about Jake? We finally get Jake. Now the question is, okay, is Steven and Mark basically in a little fantasy world and Jake is taking over, who handcuffed them to the bed again? Do they know about this? Do they know what's going on in the world? What's his Moon Knight suit powers going to be different? Is it going to look different? Is his powers going to be different? Because Mr. Knight's powers are different than the Moon Knight's. So what's Jake Lockley going to be in season 2? I'm looking forward to this. I actually like that's just some stuff I liked.
All right. Anything else?
Nothing I can think of right now.
All right. Fat Steven Seagal, what are your positives for this episode?
It's over. Nah, it was all right. But I wish they maintained a little bit more steadiness like they did from 5 to 6, and I think that's what I was pretty much only lashing on to. Honestly, my favorite thing I think throughout all of this is just the original Moon Knight costume, not the Psycho Colonel Sanders, just the Moon Knight costume. Everything else, it was mediocre. Like it was just another Disney Plus show. And I'm not trying to say that as a negative viewpoint, saying it's the same thing. different
I understand what
names.
you're saying.
And
She said her new account is working, but the old one isn't.
Yes, oh no, something in the chat.
Did you block or mute or timed out?
It was blocked, but Chris will fix that up.
Refresh it and go back to the other account. Sorry, just refresh it and go back to the other account. I'll double check again because we'll check it.
Yeah,
you know how Anzo is. Boomer moments, okay?
So Eli's gone from the show. That's it. No more Eli Hoop. You know what I mean?
No more.
Yeah.
Boom. No. No Phantoms. No, nothing. Just like boom.
Gone.
Shazam version. Just like.
So for me now, I thought this episode wasn't that good. Like for me, I think the last 3 episodes they got worse by each one, and I do think that this final episode was one of the weakest episodes. When I had to think of the positives that I had for it, it wasn't boring. You know what I mean? Oscar Isaac's acting, but you know, I don't know. I just don't really have much positives about this episode. Like, it's not that I'm sitting here and I'm hating it, saying, "Oh, this was stupid and this was dumb and this and that." It's just nothing stood out for me. Nothing gave me a wow moment like I was hoping for in this final episode. You know what I mean? Like even the fight scene at the end, like I was hopefully Harold would have got some kind of suit or something or anything. Nothing. And it was more or less just flying, jumping up in the air, punching, kicking. This wasn't, I don't know, it just was underwhelming for a fight scene for me. And then what else did we have? Oh, well, yeah, we'll get into that when we get into the negatives because I'm in the positives right now. And I think that's about it, to be honest with you. Like, it just, there was nothing in it that had me wowed, you know, at all. So we'll skip the positives, and because I know this is where the shit is going to hit the fan, so we will get into the negatives, and I'm going to go the other way around. I'm going to start off with Fat Steven Seagal. What were your negatives? Go on, brother. Let them all out. Let them loose.
Oh, Jesus. Why didn't you put me first? All right, first of all, Egypt, y'all blind. You got giant kaiju gods fighting outside. You're not even feeling a tremor, yet you watched the whole sky turn into a rave 2 episodes ago. Wake the hell up. Secondly, we got a show 6 hours. It's literally 6 episodes long, and we got 15 minutes of Moon Knight. Oh, and 5 minutes of Captain America, Captain Hippo, the eagle of.
Hey, wait, I wasn't in this.
No, I said
everybody's getting me confused with Mr. Knight, Ego. All that. What the hell is this? Really?
I'm sorry, you're wearing too much red. I consider you a Skittle.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Because that means I'm magically delicious.
Very fruity. Yes, very fruity. Yes.
Oh my god.
What? Skittles only fruit flavors? What? What was?
I'm talking about that magically delicious shit.
Oh, magically delicious. If he wants to be a Lucky Charm, I can't help him. Hi, Migora.
Hey, I'm magically delicious, yes.
There's my rainbow, I say. Eh?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Blue horseshoes.
Go ahead.
Crescent moons.
That's why I'm trying to catch your Lucky Charm, okay?
Oh, you're feeling left out, Eli? I'm sorry. You
Go ahead, keep going.
All right. What else is there? Too much bickering between the mindsets in general, always against a reflective surface that conveniently seems to pop up. Yes, I know there's a lot of reflective surfaces in the world. That's it. That noise is just it. It's Ralph Boner. That's all I'll say. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not great. And like I said before, I'm tired of waiting to the end to get a mediocre something.
Mm-hmm.
And come on, bro, how many people were expecting Ethan Hawke to fall down the stairs when he was running down the pyramid? I was expecting. No, I was hoping for him to fall. Like, you know, like him and Moon Knight were going to run. I was hoping face plant, and it was. Oh God, it was bad. I did not have fun with this series. It was a bait and switch. That's what it felt like.
Well, I wouldn't say I didn't have fun with the series. I think the first 3 episodes were fine. Second one, third, well, first three, fourth and fifth were like, man, this one was like, But I'm gonna get into Ashley. I want to hear Ashley's negatives. Ashley, what are your negatives for this episode?
Well, first of all, as it comes to like a conclusion of a series, it falls flat in so many ways, for me, because it does the way that they conclude the story, it just doesn't seem like it's finished, even for a season 1, if there's going to be a season 2, in my opinion. Let's see. Again, talking about the infighting sequence, the fact that you don't show us that is absolutely ridiculous. And you use these flashes as an excuse not to show us blood and gore and to give us a little bit something, a little bit more adult. Another thing that I didn't really care for in the episode. I was really excited to see Amit, but I really didn't like the whole battle and the two of them fighting back and forth. I thought that they kind of looked kind of cool, but even a little bit with the CGI wasn't as crisp as it should have been. But I thought that the whole time the two of them like fighting in the background while Mark was fighting Arthur, it just seemed a little bit silly. Like it took away from what the overall tone of what the show, what it felt like to me. So when I talk about it's like tonally being not fitting, like when we're dealing with these very serious subject matters of DID, and like at times it just seems very gut wrenching and meaningful, and then you get these things that are very, very silly, and it just doesn't seem like it fits in the overall show. Like when you're watching it, like even the design, like to me it looked like, the way that they looked, the way Amit looked, especially, it looked like something, that belongs, in a more kinly friendly programming. Let's see, there's so many things. I love the reveal of Jake Lockley, but I didn't like that the fact that you were hinting to it. This, like always, it's like with these MCU shows, which I love the MCU, that. But I'm getting really tired of like this 6-episode format where it's like, here's a breadcrumb, and then we get to the final episode and it's like, dun dun dun, reveal. It just seems like a little silly. It's like you don't have enough. Instead of like waiting till that final moment and trying to set him up for something else, I think that maybe if you would have showed us him completely, the reveal in episode 4, like let us know this is Jake, but maybe we don't see him actually kill anyone until the very end. I did enjoy that, like the fact that Khonshu, even though it's going back to a like that I didn't bring up, that Ilm talking about wanting to use Layla was essentially a ploy, that it wasn't even about her, it was about Jake all along. So I did like that, and I did like that reveal, and I did like Khonshu's like look in the episode. So that was a like. There is so many things I really didn't like. To me, I liked Ethan Hawke's acting performance, but like I said, throughout the whole season, I felt like by the end of it, he's just evil for evil's sake. Like I felt like he was very one-dimensional overall as a character, not in his performance, but as a character. So I really didn't like his character. I didn't like. And it, to me, I know that he still didn't completely take Amit in at that moment, but I felt like it was like he looked like he was, at the retirement home while he was fighting in his like normal like linen outfit, with with Mark when he was like, Moon Knight. And I liked the fact that Layla powered up and became the Scarlet Scarab, but I did not like the line with the little girl. Like we get, like if the little girl could have just, and this is like a nitpick, she could have been like, you're a superhero. Are you a hero or a superhero? But I think the fact that we're going to have to put Egyptian in it, I felt like it was a little pandering a little bit. It was like a little bit too on the nose for me. But other than that, those are the things I didn't like about the episode. I could probably find more, but that's it.
All right.
But I didn't dislike the episode, if that makes any sense.
No, absolutely. I didn't really dislike it either. And I'll go next for the negatives, and then we'll leave these positive bunnies to go last. Right?
Yeah.
But
wait a minute.
Danny's gonna
I got some negatives as well.
I'm sure you got negatives, but I mean, our negatives are like,
all right,
I mean?
go ahead. Your negatives are what, more real than our negatives? I see how you are.
Yes.
Go ahead.
You're gonna be like, I didn't like the way
Unzo.
Layla's hair was styled. That's what Chris is gonna say.
Well, you know what? I didn't. So take that.
See,
Why is that Lucky Charm
Like
talking?
70s perm, okay? It should have been a 90s Rachel.
So yeah, for me, I'll go with one of the same things. It was that blackout scene was really annoying. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there, and then I watch the next day. You go, or whatever day it was. The next day you go watch Doctor Strange, and you're like, oh well, they can do things that are like, a little bit edgy, and this is the show to do it in. But yet at the last episode, we get a blackout scene.
And that was PG-13 stuff too. Like, so it's like you could have done it. Like,
right, yeah, exactly. And even if like you had the whole blackout scenes for like the whole series, and then that last one you show that shit, it's like, okay, that's fine. I could deal with all the ones they did before, because now you're showing us, Jake doing what Jake does. But instead we get that blackout, and it's just like, I can't believe you guys did this again. And like I think it was someone said 5 Stevens ago, Layla was standing in the same spot. Like, it only took 2 seconds for him to kill all these people. And
I think maybe she was like out the way, hiding.
Shocked, I guess. Oh my God, like,
She did like at that point. She's like, Mark, like when she
right,
like when he comes back. So she might have been frozen in fear. We don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm just like, even her getting the powers, I don't hate the fact that she got the powers. I just think it should have been, the final battle should have been between Moon Knight and Harold. That's what I thought it should have been. You know what I mean? You're cutting away to her and the hippo. When she gets the power, and the hippo's like, oh, I'm gonna be here, and I'm so excited. I was like, okay, Marvel stuff in this. You know what I mean? Her acting was pretty good, because she kind of portrayed the hippo, like the way she movement and that, so that was fine there. But one of my biggest issues, like I said, is you got the first half of the episode where he's going to try and save Steven from the sands, and when Steven gets knocked in the sands, it takes like 10 seconds for him to turn to sand. Fucking Mark is just walking through the sands like nothing. Oh, there you are. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? And then when he finally reaches him, that's when he starts to turn, and the doors open up, and then they both come together. And I was just like, you took away the stakes right then and there. You should have left Steven dead there. You could have brought him back another way. He's a figment of fucking Mark's imagination. So Mark could have fucking just created him again. You know what I mean? Just, hey, boop. Hey, Mark, you're back. Steven, you're back, But I don't know. I just found that there was a lot of stuff in this episode that was just like, I'm not feeling that, What else? Oh, so we find out that the fucking god had nothing to do with the plot, right? In the episode before, when they're doing the judgment on Harold, and they're like, oh, this and that, and he's walking with Harold, you think that he's a part of it, but you come to find out in this episode that he had nothing to do with it. So it just shows you that these gods were fucking stupid. They were dumb. They didn't give a fuck about what was going on.
Like, I forgot about that. Like, he was just like,
he
was standing there and he went, Harold. Like, you dummy.
Right.
Like, you did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like when Mark was trying to explain that to you.
Wait a minute.
Chris.
No. Well, I won't totally disagree with you guys on this. There are lots of movies where they use the trope where the people, like the group, the Illuminati, get tricked. He sits there, and Dr. Strange comes in and says, guys, it ain't what you think it is. Oh, we can handle a little witch. Same thing. It's the same type of thing happening.
Oh, I agree.
Somebody comes up and says, hey, this is happening. This guy's going to fuck you all over. And they're like, no. You changed the night sky. You're the bad man. Blah, 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 blah. And then look what happens. It maybe not as well executed, but it is a trope that has been used before. So
Okay.
I won't disagree with
Chris,
you.
Like at least
That's what I'm saying. They're gods.
The Illuminati.
Yes.
But they're superpower
beings. The Illuminati should have known better.
But they're superpower beings. But these are gods,
all-knowing gods.
No, not necessarily all-knowing. No. Only Ra was the all-knowing one. The rest of them were over little bits and pieces of things. So I don't know. I'm just saying, while I agree with you, it wasn't necessarily not well executed. It hasn't been like they've never done this before. So again, it wasn't explored properly, maybe, because in the episode you're talking about, they were full on with Harrow, and it gave the feeling like they were in on it. And then you come around and he knocks him off, or knocks the one off at least. So again, execution more than I think what's going on. But
well, you see, Brittany's saying arrogance, and I could agree with that.
And
but at the end of the day,
God's
you know what I mean?
Arrogant.
It's like, okay,
Zeus had kids, and he didn't know whose kids were. I mean, that's kind of the trope of gods in Roman times and all that stuff. So I mean, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I feel what you're saying. I just thought that, like, even the one female god that was helping him could have figured something out, and she didn't even do it. You know what I mean? Like, at least she was on Khonshu's side, and even she didn't do it. So I'm saying, like, you're supposed to be these gods, whatever. Not one of them looked into what Harold was doing. So it made them, to me, just made the gods look stupid. That was my issue with that part.
No, I understand that.
But yeah. So let's hear you guys now. I think I said everything that I could think of right now. So start off with you, Danny.
I just ain't looking in as deep as y'all looking in. I see what y'all saying, and I don't have a problem with what you're saying. If I'm being honest, I really don't care. And
I'll be honest with you. Sorry. I was just gonna say, Danny, I'll be honest with you. That's how I feel about fucking Doctor Strange. There's people that said all these little, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. I think it's fire. So I feel you.
Oh yeah, Doctor Strange is fire. Not better than No Way Home, but it's definitely fire.
Did you get that link, Enzo?
I did. Thank you. And I sent it to Danny. Danny watched it today before too.
I ain't went to the theater. I'm good with that. Good copy. I'm perfectly fine with that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with them revealing the superhero at the end, because we've seen it in movies, in other shows. Falcon and Winter Soldier, we didn't see him in the Captain America suit to the very end, so he's in maybe a total of 12 minutes. In Daredevil, we didn't see him until the last episode. Scarlet Witch, we really didn't see her. We saw her powers manifesting, but we really didn't see the full power of what she really had until the last episode when she's fighting Agatha Harkness, or whatever her name is. So I don't have a problem with that aspect of it. I know some people like to put a clock on how much screen time a certain superhero has. That really doesn't bother me, because I'm already going in with the expectation that the first season, if it's an origin story, is going to show his origin, which this did. So I don't care about the actual screen time amount of it. I think the gods were not silly or stupid, like Anzo said, but like Brittany said, they were arrogant, because they brought him there and shown the evidence. The head guy, I can't think of his name, he looked Egyptian looking. He was immediately agreed with Harold, because he just thought Khonshu was talking out of his ass. But then when she was bringing when Harold started bringing back the alligator goddess, then he was like, so this is Harold. No, motherfucker, we told you that 2 or 3 days ago. You didn't believe it because you were so fucking arrogant. So I think it was more arrogance and stupidity, or stupid. They were just so sure that what they had done was irreversible, and then when it was reversed, then that's when it was like too little, too late. because we done got the upper hand on you now. So, at the end of the day, I really think Khonshu set all this shit up, and he was playing chess with him, and right now, like, he's winning. But,
and when we get to the end, we're going to discuss your theory a little bit more, Danny, because I think you might have a little bit something there to that. So we can discuss that a little bit more. One more thing that I wanted to say that I didn't like is the fucking end credit scene. I called it the week before. I said it's going to do something with Jake. The end credit scene is going to do something with Jake. And sure enough, they did something with Jake. And
what's wrong with that?
I still think Mark is his favorite because you see he has Spector on the front and the back of the car. So why would he keep that? So
that's Mr. Knight. That's Jake. That's actually Mr. Knight's limo in the comics.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I remember you calling that, and I said I'm gonna hate it if they do that. And what did I say? I hate it.
Well, why? Because if they give you a second season, that's exactly how you move to the next season. Is you reveal we didn't see all of the three that we knew there were three. He was shown the extra sarcophagus. I even said this is probably the best way to introduce him because it was too late in the series to introduce.
But they'd already gave us hints, like when we see him in the hospital and he has a whole different cadence and a whole different voice. Like it's
little hints. And then we all said if they introduce him and then cut the series off.
I'm just sick of this, like these incomplete 6-episode arc TV shows, and that's just what it feels like. It didn't feel like a complete story, and they didn't like say, "Hey, we might be doing a second season" until here recently. So they went into it like trying to tell a complete limited series story, and I don't feel like that they accomplished that goal. That's my only point.
Can I add in on this, please?
Sure.
I'm very, very confused for a Canadian. Why the hell does the moon god need a goddamn limo?
It's not his. It's Jake. It's really Jake's. He's chauffeuring the god. Because the god was in the car, but that's not what he's doing. He's actually going to be a limp because, like in the comic books, Jake is a taxi driver, right?
Right.
And so they're basically probably combining Jake and Steven, like Steven having his limo together, and he's going to be a limo driver, and that's how he's going to be able to keep his ear and listen to what's happening in the streets, because that's what Jake did. But just this version of Jake is just straight evil.
So what they're doing is they're kind of turning it into like Dick Tracy's Cab or The Shadow, pretty much.
Yeah, because Jake is a cab driver in the comic books.
So technically, Khonshu is just sitting in there because he's tired.
Well, I mean, Khonshu is with Jake. I mean, with when whoever's possessed and he's controlling them, he's usually right beside there with them. Like when we saw him standing beside Mark before, we've seen him standing beside Steven. So so obviously, Jake is driving.
There sometimes,
he's in the vehicle. Is the way I interpreted that.
But then why was he on the?
It's kind of like the Phantom's daddy is always with him whenever they talk about himself.
Yeah.
But he's never on the. But he wasn't on the bus when Steven's on the bus.
No, she was. If she was on the bus, he was on the ground. When he passed by, he would see Khonshu standing up.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the bus. He was on the outside of the bus.
Yeah.
Because when he first introduced himself to Steven.
That Steven had no clue that he was there. Like he was there. It was because that was Steven at that time. It wasn't Mark. Like Steven hadn't realized about Khonshu. So it was like Khonshu was there, right? But he was far from a distance. And once Steven became aware of him, then he was by his side and right there with him. But as we see Khonshu chasing him, Steven, because Steven is he's not aware of what's happening. And once he becomes aware and becomes a part of it, then Khonshu is with him just like he is with Mark and with Jake.
And cool. So we have them move. So we literally get that closing scene with Jake, the Spanish Uber driver. What happened to Captain Hippo?
Yeah, why wasn't she in that fight? You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah, because
there's now a ripoff Wonder Woman
because Layla was her avatar.
I know, but what I'm saying is, why wasn't she in the fight with Khonshu and
because Amit? Because the reason why she wasn't is because Amit because when the two of them were going at it, it was the same time when Mark and Arthur were going at it. So it was like a mirror image of the two of them fighting. That's why she wasn't there. Like if Layla was part of the fight, then all three of them would be there. But she wasn't part of that fight.
I think women are like whisperers and stuff because Ashley is talking. We see the same thing, but Ashley can see all this stuff. Like my wife and daughter, the animals be doing food stuff around the house, and they can tell me exactly what the animals thinking and doing. Here's the fullness of in my life.
Did anyone else?
You can tell me what the animals are saying and thinking.
Did anyone else get bothered by them copying kind of like the scene from '84 with "Are you a hero? Yes, I am. Are you a woman? Yes, I am. Are you have powers? Yes, I do. Well, thank you."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was separated.
Yeah, the kid asked the
Am I the only one on this panel that watches a superhero show just to be entertained?
I watch them to be entertained.
When does the entertainment start?
When they were on top of the roof running towards each other, no, Layla was not a part of that fight. I'm talking to somebody in the chat. So no, go back and watch it again because you see the two of them charging at each other. You see Mark running up the pyramid. You see Arthur going down the pyramid. Then you see the two of them in the back. Then you see Amit and you see Khonshu fighting each other while the two of them are fighting each other. It's not a 3-on-3 fight. You don't see Layla on top of that pyramid. The three of them are not there together fighting in that moment. Absolutely.
But I thought at one point.
Hold on, go ahead,
At one point, Harold, the female Layla. And
no, not you, Brittany. I'm not talking to you, Brittany.
Oh, sorry, Danny. Go ahead.
Didn't at one point all three of them was fighting each other?
Wasn't that the circle?
At one point, Moon Knight and Layla was fighting Harold. They were double teaming him.
Yes.
At one point in this fight.
Yes.
So why wasn't the hippo double teaming the god? If it's mirroring each other, why wasn't she in that fight at the point that all three was fighting each other?
Well, because we saw their statue that hasn't been broken.
No. At one point, Layla. I'm about to say it again. At one point, Layla and Moon Knight was fighting Harold.
Mm-hmm.
Harold, whatever his name is. So,
that wasn't that before before Amit? I have to go back.
I'm gonna go look.
I don't think so. I know because I don't. I think that was before because once they were powered up and they were fighting on the pyramid right there.
All three of them were powered up at one time, fight each other in the street because it was going simultaneously between Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, and then the Egyptian girl Layla. She was help fighting. They were all double teaming. So if they were mirroring each other, then the hippo should have been double teaming.
That is too right, Dandelion. I think it's because of the pocket universe.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for the scene now. See if I can find it. Go ahead, Danny. Finish up.
Yeah, I'm saying that if they're mirroring each other fighting, then at some point the hippo goddess should have been double helping Khonshu fight the alligator goddess, but she never did it.
I think that
Because I'm looking here now, so he's Mr. Knight. Yeah, they are fighting him at the same time.
Yeah, they double team each other.
They also yeah, but they were also part of the circle as well to actually seal Amit within Harrow so they can actually.
I know.
Yeah. Brittany makes a good point. She said the hippo was stuck in her realm, which is with the dead. So that may be it. I don't know.
Well, if she is a ferryman to the dead, yeah, you wouldn't see like the Reaper or the River Styx dude doing the same thing and coming out because then the souls have free reign to roam around. So maybe that's it too.
That may be it. I can
She's just one to protect their journey. She doesn't have anything to do with the reeds or the gate on either side. She's only the person who sits there and helps them along. Like Elihu said when she came up, she has more to do with fertility and birth and things like that. She just happens to also have this like side hustle that's hey, can you just kind of help these people point them in the right there, that's the direction you go.
But why did she have wings though?
Because she was terrified.
She's a hippo and it takes a shit ton to fly. I don't know.
I know. I'm talking about like the way like her powers are the manifestation of like.
I mean, would you have been
Water
happier had they
powers.
made Layla like 400 pounds and like made her
No,
look
no,
like
I'm just
With a like hungry hippos, you know.
You know,
I had to say that.
like,
She was terrified though. She was terrified Wanda was going to jump movies and kick her ass.
So, Chris, let's get into your negatives and then Eli's.
I
mean, there was a
Oh, wait,
little jumpy.
sorry, Steven, were you finished?
I be going.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry,
I wasn't sure if you were finished. My bad.
Yeah, it was a little jumpy, the switching and all that. I mean, it's nice, it's cool, but I don't know. It's a lot to follow with such a short amount of time. The fight, I guess I wouldn't have had any problems if they had made the fight a little bit longer. I don't know how you would have done that, but I had a little bit of an issue with the whole going back to the afterlife scene at the end of this, because with the end credit scene, it doesn't really make sense because he is in a mental institution, but he's the doctor again in that afterlife scene, and then he realizes, because Mark and Steven basically tell him, oh, by the way, Layla's got you now because she's that hippo's in charge here or something like that. It was a little like, okay, I'm not really sure where we're going with this, because again, he's not dead. He didn't get killed. So
psychic plane. It's a psychic plane. What they did is it's the same representation, but I think they were forced back in there so Khonshu could let Jake go.
Maybe. That's a possibility. I could see that. But there were just some missteps. The pacing was all right, but I don't know. Again, I will go back to what I said earlier. I'm not sure if I dislike it or if it's just weird, and I'm trying to figure out why we would show it other than just, hey, let's show off something that we think is cool, which is making the two gods the size of taller than the Great Pyramid of Giza, which, if you've ever been there, folks, let me tell you, that's saying something, because the thing's fucking tall. And so, and again, where the Giza was, it just, I don't know. A lot of this was just, this looks cool, although it totally goes against what's really going on there, because if you've ever been there, you know that the placement of a lot of the things and stuff like that just wasn't right. I don't know. But and again, they're fighting. These guys are fighting, and the whole thing is going to shit in the city. And yet some people are just kind of hanging out still, going like, oh, no big deal. I don't know. There's just a few of those things. It's just like, okay. Again, I get where they're going. The storyline works for me. They could have done better in some things for sure. But when it comes down to it, A to Z, this is probably the most complete series at or next to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There were even moments of Falcon and the Winter Soldier that kind of stumbled in. But I mean, I put it on level with that. So there you go.
Yeah, so this is the scene Donnie's talking about. The two of them are fighting Harold right there. I'll just play it real quick because you see. So right there, yeah. So they're both fighting her. So yeah, it would make sense that the hippo would have showed up and fought Khonshu at that same Ahmed at the same time. But Eli, you're negative. Oh, go ahead, Fat. Before
I have one more negative to throw in there. Why is can someone please tell me why Moon Knight was flying across the sky like an X-wing?
I think
they had to get there quick.
I didn't think flight was one of his powers.
They said that only in nighttime he can fly. So when the moon is full, he has extra powers and he could fly.
That's why he changed the night to the night sky. He says, "Remember, I control the night sky," and then he did it, and that's why.
Yeah, Eli, your negatives, real quick. Go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, that kind of bugged me because you can see the moon in the daytime. Hello, does it still have powers? Why does that be nighttime? Why does that be dark for enough hours? There's times where you see the moon. Look at the end scene. The moon is out, full moon out there. Hello? What the hell was Arthur standing on? That is not what the top of the Great Pyramid looks like. Google it, people. Google it, producers. Come on.
Oh, my God.
That's kind of what I was saying. Is like, there's just some things in this you're like, okay, people, let's try to.
Exactly.
And I know it's fake. People, Danny, I know it's fake. It's fake. Why
people,
are we worried?
Where were the people? That place is constantly crowded. Where the hell are the people?
Leave those kids alone.
That whole entire fight scene could have been avoided because I'm like, wait a minute. Moon Knight can fly, but he stops on low ground. Why don't he just fly through Arthur Harlow, up straight to the moon, drop, and boom, fight's over, he's dead. Hello? What the hell was this? That fight was totally nonsense to me. I'm like, he's got, what the fuck? What the hell? I could have wrote this better. Yeah, it was great. It was great CGI, but some of it was off-centered. I've seen better CGI than Bruce Banner's head on the Hulkbuster than those wings. Come on. It's just a plain 1995 CGI. Basic. Like, shit, you can tell it's fake right there. I did not like the reveal of Moon Knight because it took too slow to reveal him. Like, okay, we've seen how he can wrap up. Why is it going to take so long the second time round? There's a quick transformation the first time. We get it. He's Moon Knight. He's risen again. We have to see him wrap up and get dressed, put on the socks, pants, underwear, shirt, and button the shirt up. No, just wrap him up, Khonshu, and get on with the fight.
Ooh.
There was something else.
So I can get on that planet that Eli Who is on.
Did anyone else realize that we got the seriousness at the end of the episode showing purple souls falling into the hippo's realm? Yeah, they didn't even. That makes no sense due to the fact that we see later on the Gator God eating the souls. So it's kind of a. Sorry.
I was going to mention that. All those soldiers are plummeting. There was only, 11, 12 soldiers? Where the fuck did other people go? Where the hell did Harold get a chance to get those souls?
He hadn't released the God yet. So the ones falling down were either his people getting ate up by the zombies or something where he's killing them. I don't know, but it was not.
You only had one time. That was a soldier.
Okay. All right, Chris.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay, then I got another one then. Okay, then let's say the Gator God's sucking up all the souls. Why are there no bodies lying on the ground anywhere in the city?
There were.
Where?
They were taking their souls and they were falling on the ground.
They were?
Yeah. When he did the cops, they fell on the ground, and that's when the hippo was going through the bodies to talk to Layla, right? There were dead bodies on the ground. So what I read or what I followed, like on one of those shows, is that not everybody believed the same thing. So if you believed in the Egyptian gods, then you ended up in that plane. If you believed in something else, so that's why it showed that there were some that, like, as many as she killed, only some were going to that plane. That's what I heard on the internet. So on one of those emergency awesome shows. So that's that.
There was more. Also, there was about 13. There was about 11 to 13 soldiers that Harrow judged. That's all he judged when Mark was in the underworld on the boat. There's about 30 to 50 streaks of purple coming down. Where the hell did he have time to do this? Who are these people?
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. It was off camera, so we don't know how much people he was judging before that scene came up, right? Because supposedly, while Mark was in the plane there, he was judging people. So we don't really know how much people he was judging. But I want to get into Danny's theories before we give our grade. I want to see what you guys think about Danny's theory, because Danny actually thinks that Khonshu was the one behind everything, and I think it could have been. What do you guys think?
Sorry, what was the question?
What do you guys think of Danny's theory? Do you think Khonshu was behind everything?
Was in control.
Hold on.
Well, Danny,
Khonshu after all. Yeah, okay, I guess the song works.
Danny, what you're thinking is that Khonshu was basically the one that wanted Harrow to let Amit out so he could destroy Amit and being more in control of those decisions.
Khonshu wasn't strong enough to destroy the other guys, but Amit was. So he wanted Amit to destroy the guys. Then he knew that Jake and Mark and possibly Steven were strong enough to kill Harold together or collectively or whatever by themselves or to get the job done. Because he knew that, and based on what the conversation
and imprison Amit
that Amit had,
Why did you do that in the first place?
Right now he's a king of the gods.
I got a question. Why did you do that in the first place when Arthur was his avatar?
because Arthur wasn't strong enough to kill Ahmet.
Here's the problem with that, though. At least part of the problem for me. Not saying it's wrong, but he let Ahmet out. Ahmet was already taken care of, and I don't see how he couldn't have done. I mean, because really, it wasn't even the Avatar that did it. It was because Harrow kills the one guy before he even does the transformation. So,
what are you talking about?
Ahmet had nothing to do with that. So unless he was, I mean, I see where you're going with it, and it's a possibility.
Ahmet killed all the other gods.
No, it was Harrow that killed the one guy. But Harrow killed the one guy before he changed over to Ahmet.
Harrow killed which god?
The guy in the suit. That's his avatar. So that's what he did, is he killed him before he switched over to Ahmet. Because the only one left in that place was Layla after he melded with Ahmet.
He didn't kill that guy because Layla talked to him. He said, "This is Arrow," or
he was dying.
But what I'm saying, she killed all the guys. Khonshu wasn't strong enough to kill the guys by itself, but Ahmet was. So that's why allowed Ahmet to be released so she could kill the guys, that he could in turn kill her avatar and kill her.
But why was Arthur released from Khonshu's service? Why was he no longer the Avatar? I didn't understand that part.
Say why? I don't think Arthur was strong enough in Khonshu's eye to get the job done. You needed somebody like Mark, who was unhealthy or unwell, or whatever word they use. They had all those different problems.
I see where you're going with it, but I don't think so. I don't think so, because again, I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility.
I'm just coming at the perspective of somebody who's never read the comic books, who's only going off the TV show. So that's why I'm asking.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're going off of the TV show. We're not going off of comic books or anything like that, because I don't know anything really much about these fucking Moon Knight comic books anyways, you know?
I don't either. Never read one of them.
Neither do I. The other guys will return once they find new avatars. I don't
that's
think
why I said
so.
Harrow killed their avatars and made it so there were no other gods to go up against Ahmet. And
but the gods are still alive.
Because they thought Moon Knight or Khonshu wasn't around, but then she smashes that, which allows Khonshu out. Khonshu wants to, of course, use her, but she doesn't want to, so that's how the thing. And then that's also why she becomes the other one, because she breaks him out. So that's why they're around still, is because they still have. That's why only two of them were needed, because those two combined with the statues, which they when you saw the scene where they all came to do the trial thing, the being or the essence of the god came out of that statue into their avatar. And so that's what it showed. That's what they were able to do. They were able to combine with those other gods in there to trap them, even though only two of the avatars were there. That was Layla and Mark or Steven or whatever you want to say. Mm-hmm. I mean, there is a possibility that, yes, by Ahmet not being around and by Khonshu letting Ahmet out or helping in some convoluted way Ahmet coming out, that yes, he's the only one that can control judgment right now. He's out. He can control judgment. He can say they deserve to die, because that's what the whole thing was about.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, what the argument is Ahmet believes I can choose to
do it
judge
before they die.
Before they do what they do.
Yeah.
And Moon Knight doesn't care when, he just does it. So there is something to be said that there's a conflict there, that by getting rid of Ahmet and by helping Ahmet get out and then getting rid of it and trapping the soul and everything, that perhaps he did do that. I mean, like I said, there's a possibility that I'm not saying it's not a possibility. Because obviously at the end, Moon Knight's he's not as good as you think, because he pulls Harrow out and judges him basically.
And you're right, he isn't as good as he is, because he was like, I'll let the two of you go, but he kept Jake, so he knew what he was doing. He knew he was keeping Jake around, right?
Yeah. I love that line. I agree. I'll let the two of
Exactly.
you go. The two of you, not just I'll release the contract.
So let's give our final grades, final thoughts on the episode and on the series. Fat Steven Seagal, your grade and your final thoughts on the episode and series.
Who?
Fat Steven Seagal.
Steven.
Yeah.
Your final
Your
thoughts, grades on the episode.
I will not watch this again.
And what would you
I
grade
haven't watched another one of the Marvels things at all.
Yeah, me neither. What would you grade this episode and the series and all?
If it wasn't for this panel every week, it would get a 5, so it gets a 7 because of the people on this panel.
Thank
Or
you.
something.
Except for Chris, because he put his arms up and I smelled that.
God damn it. Well, you know what? I haven't showered for a few days, so sorry. I mean,
Chris, it's okay. I did this just for you.
You're
White
right.
people.
I saw that. I appreciate that.
That's some
lets
white
me know you
people
care.
shit. Not showering for a couple of days.
Put your hand in my box, Chris.
No, I will not do that. Sorry.
Eli,
Have the other one make a peace sign, okay?
Eli, you too. What's your final thoughts, grades for the series and episode? I don't think they did, Brittany. I don't think they got their souls back.
No, they didn't. My final thoughts for this. Somebody who has never read a Moon Knight comic book, I actually enjoyed it, so I'm going to give it a B, solid B. For the episode, I'm going to give it a C minus because, like I said, what the hell is the whole point of that fight scene? If he can fly and just swoop Arthur up, moves up and down, fight's over. He's dead. Over with. That was the whole entire wasted fight scene. And they kept, sorry, there's also one other thing I wanted to add. They kept on cantering on the moon. Phases of the moon, like I said they would. Yeah, because every single episode was the phase of the moon. It was his phase. The overall series itself, it was very interesting, confusing at times. I believe it was meant, the cutscenes were meant for people who are actually familiar with the two split personalities, but I didn't really understand that, so people have to explain it to me. So the whole overall series, I'm going to give it a B minus.
Cool. I'm gonna let Danny go next because I know he has an engagement to go to. So Danny.
This episode I give it a B minus. The overall series I give it a B. There's definitely room for improvement. Like I said, for me, the end scene credits saved the series, saved the episode for me. At first, the way it ended, I was like, "What the hell?" But then when I saw it, I was like, "Okay." But yeah, I definitely think they should have a season 2. I think there's going to be a season 2. I'm going to believe that till I hear otherwise. But yeah, I give it a B minus for this episode, and for the whole series, I give it a B.
Cool. Ashley, you there?
Yes, for the episode, I'll give it a 7. For the overall series, it's a 6.
All right. Chris Knight.
Let's see here. This episode probably an 7, 7 and 8 around there, and the series probably like an 8.5.
All right. And for me, I'm gonna give this series. Well, I'm gonna give this episode a 5. I'll give the series. I'll give the series a 6 because 3 episodes I liked and 3 episodes I weren't too fond of. Like I said, it's still a passing grade. It just didn't pan out towards the end for me.
There was a time when you said that my taste was questionable. That is now you have now the questionable taste, buddy.
Why? Because I gave the episode a 5? It wasn't that great. I mean, it was good. It was okay, but it wasn't that great. I mean, for me, like I said, there's a few things that really threw me out of the episode, and that's why when they did the disappearing Jake killing them off screen stuff, it just I don't know, man. But that's I don't know. I guess I'm hoping for a series that for me, like from start to finish, is great. Even Falcon and Winter Soldier, as much as I liked it, it still had some issues. You know, there were some episodes that I was like, this episode's not that good or whatever, you know, but I think it's decent series. I don't hate it. So that's it, man. This will be the
Is it
last
better?
round.
Is it better?
Uh-huh.
Better WandaVision? Is it better than
Oh,
WandaVision?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely better
Well,
one.
not sure.
But I think Peacemaker's better than this.
I wanted to go through the two. I have a third pull up, but after
Sure.
I'm done here, I'll
Yeah.
close it out. First one, did you like the finale of Moon Knight? 56% said no.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Okay.
That was with 30 votes.
Wow.
Then the next one, what do you rate the finale of Moon Knight? 1 through 3 got 54%, 4 through 6 got 29, and 7 through 9 got 16. And then the final one, I will end it right now. And we had 37 votes on the rankings. And this one is, do you think there will be a Moon Knight season 2? 57% said no, 42% said yes, 21 votes. That's kind of surprises me because I think they will do it, but whatever. What do I know? So
I think there will too. All right, guys, we're going to shout out your channels real quick. Danny Graham, tell the people where they can find you, what you got coming up next. Dandelion said this episode gets a 5.63? And then the series gets a 7.1529. How'd you even come up with that number? But go ahead, Danny.
I think she's trolling us with that. I really think she's trolling us.
It's called complex mathematics. It's Canadian.
I'm Danny, aka Comic Chat. You can find me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night here with these two guys going left and right. On tomorrow night, my show at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not sure what the topic's going to be, but I would think it's something probably going to be what you think about weekend box office for Dark Change 2. It's still out there. I think that's going to check it at 185, I think. So maybe it'll cross 200 between now and tomorrow. But definitely good show, man. I appreciate it. Catch y'all next time. We'll do the next roundtable. Peace. I gotta bounce.
Peace, Danny. Take care. Chris Knight.
All right, man.
Later, Danny. I think it's going to be Obi-Wan with Chris Knight.
Yeah, I think it was Obi-Wan.
Real Review 3000, guys. And Obi-Wan starting at the end of this month. I'll have that one over here on Chaos Central for that roundtable. But just say Real Review 3000 ADHD for YouTube. Tomorrow night on The Gospel According to Chris, we'll have Kylo Tim Talk, however you want to say it. He's going to be over there. We're going to talk about probably Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, possibly Obi-Wan, talk about some of that stuff and find out a little bit about Tim. Also tomorrow night, of course, Chaotic Conversation. Look forward to that. Tuesday, we have Anzo's show where I believe we're doing a ranking of all of the current MCU movies, which would include now Doctor Strange 2.
That is correct.
Wednesday, I don't know exactly what we'll talk about on the Rule of Three, but we got back to the Final Five, guys. If you ever watched the Rule of Three, stay till the end because that's when we get to talk shit and we're trying to see who's going to win. Spoiler alert: I am behind and probably not going to catch up, but that's okay because it's just fun. I like it. But we basically do quick fire fact or fiction questions about current stuff or stuff upcoming, and yeah, we have fun doing that. Also, I'll have a gaming stream this week. We'll get back to the weekly wrap up next week. Name That Tune will be back next week. Lots of stuff. Oh, and the finale of The Masked Singer is on Wednesday, so we will be doing our final episode of Unmasking the Masked Singer on Tuesday. So guys, check that out, please, and thank you. And Anzo, this is a great round table, great people on it, great setup. You did a really good job as always. But thank you,
man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Ashley, tell the people where they can find you.
Well, the Widow is the channel.
Hold on. Congratulations. I'll say this on my show. Congratulations on hitting 500 plus subs. Hopefully we'll get you to 1,000 subs sooner than later.
Yay. Yes. Thank you. Well, The Widow is my channel. I post videos and reviews and stream here and there. And then tomorrow evening on Movie Madness Entertainment, I will be hosting a show along with the beautiful Rhea called Ladies Night, a little Ladies Night movie of MME. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. We'll be talking about Moon Knight, the box office, and all that.
Excellent. Eli, who? Shout out your show.
Oh, me? Oh, me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you.
No, who?
That's who.
Not
Eli.
you. Who?
Yeah, you can call me doctor, but don't sue me for malpractice because I have no patience. I have a science show on YouTube called What's Up with the Universe, where I talk from basic astronomy to astrophysics. Speaking of basic astronomy, there is a total lunar eclipse on May 15th around 8 p.m. Pacific time. If you have clear skies in North America, look up. It'll last about 9:08, 9:09 p.m. Oh, I'm on the page up right now, so I can't tell exactly. But that's supposed to be exciting next week. There's also something else we can say, but I forgot what it was. And I really have to Geloja. Thanks for having me on. I gotta go. Sorry, guys. I really have to Geloja. Later.
No problem.
Later,
And
weirdos.
Baza, what the hell do you mean you've never seen Revenge of the Sith? Get on that, bro. Start
What?
watching that tonight before you
That's
get
like
off
the
here.
best
Watch
of
that.
the prequels.
And last but not least, I want to say thank you to Mr. Fat Steven Seagal for coming out and hanging out with us for 6 weeks. Much appreciated, man. I'm glad to have you on the channel. Shout out your channel real quick for the people down.
I'm taking a vacation from YouTube. You can find me on Twitch. Unless it's a serious show that I'm already scheduled for, I'm just going to be re-uploading my stuff from Twitch. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. It was a pleasure having you on here, man. It was a pleasure having all you guys on here. Make sure you stay tuned for the shows that we have in the week. And then there will be some updates, of course, on the Chaos Central channel to let you know when the next roundtable will be coming up. I think it's Obi-Wan. I think Chris is doing it. So, yeah, that'll be definitely interesting to do as well. And let's hope they don't fuck up Obi-Wan. Please do not. My son was like, this is his last Star Wars last chance for him. He was like, this is the last chance. He said, if they fuck up Obi-Wan, he's done. So,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I think getting Ewan McGregor back is a positive sign because he's
absolutely
a strong Obi-Wan. So if they had tried to play some like, oh well, we don't want to spend that much money, let's find somebody who looks kind of like him but looks a little older or something like that, I would have been like, okay, really, are we going down this road? But they got Hayden Christensen back, they got Obi-Wan back, and as much as Hayden Christensen pissed me off in the second in Attack of the Clones, I didn't mind that movie. But in Revenge of the Sith, I think he was the perfect guy to play Anakin because he really did a good job there. And their dynamic together is very good. So there's a positive side to this, hopefully.
Absolutely. What? Oh, my God. You never seen a Star Wars?
What did you see on Thursday?
First off, I kind of envy you that you're getting to watch these for the first time now. You know what I mean? But, bro, like, geez, and you're 34? Wow. Well, hope you enjoy them, man, because I think Star Wars is still the top franchise. So,
message me on Twitter, and I'm going to send you the original trilogy. I want to send you a link to the original trilogy to watch digitally that is unedited, meaning they didn't have the extra stuff put in it. You need to see that, and then you can watch the special editions because it's okay to watch them. Just you need to start with the context of what we started with originally.
Yes. Facts. But with that being said, guys, it was a pleasure. Peace, love, and hair grease. See you next time. Peace.